So growing up in Benzie County, I was always told this is just a small town and there wasn't much to it. And I believed that for the longest time until I started doing this internship. And in this internship, I learned a lot about the county that I think I just took for granted. For example, our first project was the Veterans History Project. The first veteran I interviewed was Rick St. Pierre, and he spent 20 years in the Coast Guard. The reason his interview was so interesting is because he gave me a perspective on Benzie County that I never thought of before. He grew up in a town in Massachusetts, and he traveled all around the U.S. and decided that Benzie County was a special place for him, and because of the community. And here's a short clip of his interview.
The way I lead my life is by the golden rule. We need to look out for each other. You know, be neighborly. Once again, and that's what I'm doing in Michigan. I've been in all 50 states. Okay, I may have just passed through them, but I've been through all of them. Okay, Hawaii, Alaska, every one of them. I took the girlfriend back east a number of years ago, which is where my family is. They're either in Maine or Massachusetts. And she said, why wouldn't you come back here? We got some beautiful country back there. And I said, you know what? I said, I'll tell you why. Lucky enough to have been in all 50 states. Here, the short time I was here in Frankfurt, and it says a lot about Midwest values. Somebody gets in trouble around here, let's have a spaghetti dinner for them. Let's help these folks out, whether you know them or not. Let's do the neighborly thing and help these folks. They're part of our community. That's the way I try and live my life, and I think if everybody else did the same, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
what a wonderful world it would be, you know.
Rick's interview really opened my eyes to the community and how important the community is and how we are all there for each other. And I never noticed that before, and I really took it for granted. Our next project in our internship was the Legacies Project. In the Legacies Project, we had to choose someone who impacted the community a lot. Our first person we chose was Corey Beckler, and he works at Benzie Central High School as an art teacher. And the reason Corey's interview was so special is because he talked about the natural beauty that Benzie County brought. And yeah, I knew Benzie County was beautiful, but I also took that for granted a lot. He also talked about the community and how we were all there for each other. I made a short movie talking about Mr. Beckler, and here it is.
My name is Corey Beckler, high school and middle school art teacher here at Benzie Central Community Schools, local artist. Living in Benzie County is a dream. This community is a tourism mecca. People come up here from pretty much every state in the country, many different countries even. There people come through Benzie County, checking out Point Betsy, taking a trip down the Platte River, walking on the beaches and looking at the sand dunes. It's a fantastic place. Stunning beauty, very relaxed atmosphere, close-knit community, great place to raise a family. It's absolutely rewarding to show kids how to make things, watch the community enjoy each student's artwork as it's put on display, and it's a very rewarding career. The cool thing about this art gig is you can kind of make something out of nothing. Many times I tell my students, just sit there and kind of doodle until you come up with an idea. And once you come up with an idea, let's embrace it. Let's make it a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And the same is true with me when I go out in my little studio at home. I take a piece of clay and just kind of sit there and fold and shape and mold it until something comes into my mind, and then I make this, and then I make another one, and then I make this. And then I try to figure out, okay, what can I make maybe a little bit bigger? Can I make it flatter? Can I make it wider? And it's a lot of just screwing around, so to speak, but it seems to work out really well. It was always that creative, what can you make out of this? What can you make out of that? And I think it was very important, very enjoyable to build things with my hands. It wasn't until college that I realized that that's called art, and some people actually make money doing it. If I had one piece of advice for an aspiring artist, try as many different mediums and avenues as possible, but just keep working. Why should people care about art? That is the age-old question. I think you will have a better understanding on so many things in this world by having a passion for art.
After we did an interview with Corey Beckler, we were supposed to choose another person to do the Legacies project with, and that was kind of ruined when COVID-19 came in. So we had to resort to doing Zoom interviews, and we totally changed up the plan. So we chose 2 people from Benzie County to interview during quarantine to see how their lives have changed with COVID-19. The first person I interviewed was Jeff Seymour, a teacher at Benzie Central High, and he talked about the positive impacts of Corona with his family. And here's a short clip from our interview.
I think in many ways for those family entities that are truly taking the time to quarantine themselves and spend time together, I'm getting to know all of my family members much more intimately. And as a family, that is a very cool thing. Getting up and playing with my son every day, seeing my son go to sleep every day. That is a precious thing that I did not have as a teacher leaving traditionally at 5 or 5:30. My kids are asleep. And some days, because of meetings and after school activities, I was getting home after they were asleep. Spending time with family is something I think American culture lost.
Mm-hmm.
As parents spending it with their kids, kids spending it with their parents, siblings spending it with each other. So as a father, there's a part of me that is loving this, that I don't want to go back. This shift has given us the opportunity to look in the rearview mirror and ask ourselves, is what we had, was that really all that good? If we're going back to something that wasn't good, and we only see that now because we're able to separate ourselves, why go back?
Yeah.
We have the opportunity to redesign something. I don't want to go back to that. Define, learn, do. Ooh, I just learned that that was not good. So define what I want to do. Now learn how to do that. Now let's do something different. That kind of process, it's an intriguing thought to wrap your head around. Is to, if I have the choice to go back to something, what is it that I wish to go back to?
Then the next person I interviewed was my friend Javi, and he was a foreign exchange student this year. He's from a big city in Spain called Vigo, and he came here and came to a small town. It was all very different, and these are just his views on Benzie County and how it affected his life.
So my name is Javier Prego Figueroa. I'm from Spain, from a little city called Vigo. I mean, both cities and towns have their pros and cons,
Mm-hmm.
So in a little town, you can meet people and become close, because there is not many people, and you just have those people, and you have to become friends. And then I had to I don't know. I just think that in big cities you have a lot of things to see and to experience, but I didn't really mind.
Yeah. All right. So what was your favorite thing about Benzie?
Probably the people,
The
friends
people?
that I made. yeah. Also the landscape of Michigan, you know,
Yeah.
that was really pretty.
What was the hardest thing to leave?
My host family, but mostly people. Yeah,
Mhm.
like friends.
Yeah.
Like real friends, not people that you just met and
Okay, so after this internship, I learned a lot about Benzie County. I no longer think Benzie County is just a small town in the middle of nowhere that offers little to nothing. I now realize that it is much more than that. It's a very close-knit family that offers support and will always be there for you no matter what you do. I've learned to appreciate all the natural beauty it offers and not take it for granted.